right, let's bring you the latest updates regarding the top story of the day. A Norwegian newspaper on Wednesday published a racist cartoon depicting Prime Minister Narendra Modi as a snake charmer, triggering accusations reinforcing Western stereotypes. Amid a row over a journalist questioning the Prime Minister for allegedly avoiding queries during his state visit to the European country. Now, the illustration on Aftenposten showed him holding what appeared to be a fuel station pipe shaped like a snake, alongside an opinion article reportedly titled "A Clever and Slightly Annoying Man." The controversy intensified amid a row over Prime Minister Narendra Modi's press briefing in Norway, where Norwegian journalist Helelin publicly questioned why he did not take media questions during a joint appearance with the Norwegian Prime Minister Jonas. Now, Prime Minister Modi did not respond to the query, but the exchange later drew a sharp rebuttal from India's Ministry of External Affairs, represented by diplomat C.B. George. Let's in fact have a look at the details of the publication that actually put out that racist cartoon. That will help you understand what this publication is, what's its history, what its leaning is like, the kind of articles that it's been publishing, so that you give a wholesome perspective of this issue. So let's look at what is Aftenposten. This is Norway's largest broadsheet newspaper with national leadership audience. So we have a readership which is national. It's not a small newspaper. It's one of the largest broadsheets. Now, it covers many beats including national and international news, politics, business and culture daily. So it's covering a lot of host of things like every broadsheet does, and it has been doing so over many years. So it's an old newspaper that in fact has been bringing national news, international news, politics. It covers everything. So global issues like the one that we are witnessing right now, the visit by the Prime Minister Narendra Modi, was also covered by this paper. This has a strong digital presence as well, with websites, apps and subscription based access as well. So it has a digital presence. That's how this post about this opinion piece actually got viral on social media. Now, readers include general public, professionals and policy makers across Norway. So like I mentioned, that this is a newspaper that has a long history in the country, so it has a good readership as well. It focuses on investigative reporting, editorials and featured analysis content sections. So its highlights basically is investigative journalism. Remember that Norway has been ranked #1 by the Reporters Without Borders in a Freedom Index. So investigative journalism is at the core of Aftenposten. It also in fact looks at editorials and featured analysis content sections, and this was in fact an op-ed piece that had appeared in the broadsheet as well, along with the cartoon. It's widely cited in Norwegian media landscape and international press coverage. So since it's such a big broadsheet, it's been covered a lot by global media as well. Now, it's known for opinion pieces, commentary and in-depth journalism reporting style. So like we mentioned, that opinion pieces are also interesting by Aftenposten. Now, it's read by citizens, journalists and decision makers across Scandinavia region. So we have Finland, we have Sweden, all regions including this entire regions reading this particular broadsheet. So it's covering a lot of issues. It has a good reach. It has digital presence as well. So obviously this is a big newspaper, but it's still not doing responsible journalism. Let me in fact go across to Ambassador Gauri Shankar Gupta, who is a former diplomat, to get his opinion on this. Ambassador Gupta, very good morning to you. Thank you for taking out your time and for speaking to Newsx. I want to understand from your perspective, if free journalism does not equate to responsible journalism, can you call the leader of a government, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, snake charmer? They have stereotyped him in a certain way.
Good morning, Shivani. You see, I have seen that visual on the television screen, and I found that this journalist was very rude, very aggressive, and they didn't know how to behave. Actually, nobody can force a head of government or head of state to answer any question. She was actually forcing him to do so. When he walked away, she in fact put up something on the X, taking that photograph that PM walked away. That press conference was meant only for the heads of state who were present during that, India and Nordic summit. So it was not meant for, ordinary journalists asking questions to different prime ministers and presidents. So obviously it was, very, I would say, rude on her part. And when a separate press conference was held by the Ministry of External Affairs, I think in some hotel, that time also she was so adamant and rude that I know C.B. George, who is secretary in charge, he has worked with me. He had to be very firm in responding to her. And then she didn't even listen to the reply. She left in between. So I think we don't have to make a big issue out of whole thing. She was not a good journalist. She was not professional. She must have been sent there to embarrass the Prime Minister and to create a nuisance in that, forum. So I think we should completely ignore that. It is unfortunate that some of our opposition leaders are, making a huge, issue out of it, which is not needed at all. Basically, she was a very, non-professional, I would say, lacking the professional etiquettes of a journalist, and she was not correct in her behavior. She was, in fact, rude in her behavior.
Absolutely, sir. And when we also speak about, the way, one thing that we've noticed is that however many developments India might make strides in, somehow the presentation of it by international media comes back to these same stereotypes, whether we speak about the New York Times cartoon when the Mars mission was happening, or now when India is on its way to become the third largest economy. But yet again we see Firangi media depict us with these racial stereotypes, this image of the snake charmer. Do you think this is intentional by ways of sort of depicting India still by this colonial, imagery? Or, why does the Firangi media keep coming back to these age-old stereotypes?
You are absolutely right. They still feel that they are the ruler and what they decide is right. Others have no voice at all. So they can judge others whether you are wrong or right. That is the colonial approach. And they still feel that they are ruling the world. They do not realize that the world has changed and the power equation has completely gone in a different direction. But apart from that, their sense of what we call self-righteousness is very, very strong. And they don't understand other cultures, other country systems, and other, civilizational values. They feel what they say is right, what they say is wrong. They also come out with this press freedom index, where India has been put at 159th place. This is all rubbish. It has no value at all. I have seen the entire Western media is very sophisticatedly managed. Even the US media, the European media, they're all managed. They are highly manipulated. And they project only what, the governments and the newspaper owners want them to project. In fact, we are in one of the freest media even today in the world.
Sir, I do request that you stay on with us while we also